Okay, this is the room that we're filming in. That's my mom who's recording. Here we go. We often thank people or things that we personally know and interact with directly. But today I want to thank an organization that I don't currently use, but that I do see helping others and impacting America. The organization is the charity Feeding America. Feeding America is the largest hunger relief charity in the US. Feeding America has been helping the hungry since 1979, and they are still helping people now, even in the midst of the coronavirus. My main two reasons for thanking Feeding America is that it has responded to two different crises that greatly impacted America. One being the coronavirus, which is happening right now, and the other being Hurricane Katrina, which happened back in 2005. These two crises were difficult for the American public to deal with due to the magnitude of people affected by them, but both times Feeding America stepped up to help those in need. I'm going to walk you through some of the reasons why Feeding America not only deserves a thanks from me, but a thanks from America at large. We are going to start with Feeding America's response to the coronavirus because we are still currently in the middle of it. Now, many of you may not know what it's like to suddenly lose your job and be left without any money. However, that is what millions of Americans are dealing with right now. Over 16 million Americans have filed for unemployment over the past month due to the coronavirus. This means that millions of America don't have any money to buy food to feed their families. Feeding America have responded to this by gathering thousands of volunteers and by raising millions of dollars through donations. The volunteers work completely for free, and every dollar raised goes directly to feeding the hungry. I thank them, and we should all thank them for their effort to helping those in need. This situation is particularly difficult because the volunteers are putting their lives at risk just to help other people. It takes a lot of courage to put yourself on the line in the middle of a global pandemic. Feeding America is currently setting up drive-through food banks in order to minimize social interaction and lower the risk of their volunteers catching the coronavirus. Feeding America is also delivering food to those who are in quarantine and who cannot leave their house. I don't think America has ever dealt with a crisis similar to the coronavirus, and Feeding America is showing how much we need other Americans if we are going to get through this pandemic. I thank Feeding America for trying their hardest to provide for those in need and giving them food, which is a basic necessity. Thank you, Feeding America, for showing us that no one should go hungry. No one suspected a disease would leave millions of Americans without jobs, just like no one suspected a hurricane would come through and destroy thousands of people's lives. Which is why the next thing I want to thank Feeding America for is their response to Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina left thousands of people without any food to eat. Hurricane Katrina was one of the biggest disasters America had ever seen, and it required a huge effort from millions of people across America donating. Feeding America raised $34 million dollars and gave 84 million pounds of food to those affected by Hurricane Katrina. Thousands of people came from different parts all over America just to give their time. The amount of manpower it takes to help Hurricane Katrina victims was really immense. There were so many needy people that the volunteers had to work round the clock to meet the demand. Feeding America's efforts kept a lot of people from going hungry. I'm sure all of the hurricane victims were thankful, and we should all be thankful too. Seeing how selfless the volunteers are should inspire us all. They worked for several weeks for free out of the kindness of their hearts. Feeding America answers the call time and time again. I think they are one of the best charities out there, and I feel thankful that they have dedicated themselves to feeding others. Lastly, I want you all to know that Feeding America isn't just out here during major events like hurricanes and pandemics. They are working every day in communities across America year-round. Feeding America has a nationwide network of over 200 food banks that are active all year, every single day. They provide food to more than 46 million people through food pantries and meal countries across poor communities in America. Feeding America also supports programs that improve food security among poor communities. They educate the public about the problems of hunger, and they advocate for legislation that protects people from going hungry. A charity like this does so much for America, and I think that deserves a thank you. One thing I want us all to remember is that we are all very lucky not to deal with hunger in our lives. There are so many people who deal with hunger on a regular basis. It is thanks to charities like Feeding America who are using volunteers, donations, and other resources to help others in a time of need. Feeding America was there for hungry people during Hurricane Katrina, and they are now there for people during the coronavirus. I have no doubt that they will be there for the next major crisis too. So I thank them for their work, I thank them for their dedication, and I thank them for being an example to people in America.